Hi guys, today we're just going to talk about a very short topic. It's leveling up or letting go. Pretty self-explanatory. Sometimes you get with somebody and you know that there are things that you should do to level up, to maintain this connection with somebody, but you refuse to do it. If that's your point, you should actually just let them go. Let them go to find what it is that they actually need and the person that is willing to level up for them. Yeah. It's very selfish to hold on to somebody if you're not willing to do the work to actually level up with them.
And I think we've both experienced that in recent times where I think people want different things out of relationships and they are holding on to that person because they know that person's a good person. Yeah. They know that person can work with their soul, but they're not ready for that yet. And then instead of letting you go to move on with your life and to do the work needed, there's a kind of a pull because they're not willing. I don't know if to see you progress or to see that.
I wouldn't say it's calculated, as in they just don't want to see you with somebody else, but subconsciously it definitely is that. They know you're a good person, they know what you bring to the table, you probably tick a lot of boxes, but they know that there are things that they need to do to level up. Rather than think, okay, I'm going to let this person go because they deserve someone who's going to do that, they choose to hold on, knowing full well they're not going to do the things they need to do. That's a very selfish stance to take.
How do you suggest then, if you're that person on the receiving end of someone holding on to you and not letting you move forward, what do you do? How can you kind of
It's a sticky situation because then there's probably emotions involved. If you are in love with somebody who's not leveling up, I could never tell anybody outright, leave that person, leave that person. Every situation is individual and is different. So you have to take it on the back of what you're going through, the history that you have. Are there children involved? Are all these things you have to incorporate? But on a whole, you need to sit down and weigh up what it is you are bringing to the table, what it is that other person is bringing to the table, where are the discrepancies, and then bringing back into soulmates. Are we even in a position where we can sit down and talk about these discrepancies? Or is there any manoeuvre for any of these things to improve? If not, I think the answer you already have. If you can sit down and discuss all these things, nothing's going to happen to improve them. I think you kind of have your answer. It's either you put up with it or you don't. And in terms of the person who's doing the hanging on, you need to stop being selfish. Stop being selfish.
It's a very selfish act on that person, whether they know they're doing it, whether it's consciously or subconsciously. It's not a nice position for the other person to be in, because
sometimes you can take yourself away. You can level up and get back with that person, but to expect them to continuously be dealing with, let's say then, I wouldn't say mediocre, a basic level of what they're requiring. Love languages again. If someone requires physical touch, quality time, words of affirmation, and they are getting none of these things, and you are refusing to do these things, then they're not going to be fulfilled.
And I think as if you're the stronger person, you're more aware of what you need. Sometimes you just need to cut it. You need to block whatever you need to do to move forward and get on with what you need to do, I guess.
Definitely. I think we all need to start putting ourselves first, but not in a selfish way. So you know what you need, you know that person cannot do it for you, let them go.
Aim for a full cup,
basically.
So can you define what you mean by leveling up?
So we're all on a journey. We're all hoping, well, myself and Charlie are trying to get to a place where we recognise what our purpose is. We know we're not here for, the simplest, the basic things. We both feel that we have a very strong purpose here, and we're trying to fulfil that purpose by learning more about ourselves, more about our health, our mental well-being and our spiritual well-being. And if you're on that type of path, and we're talking to you, if you feel that there's something more you need to do in this life, if there's someone in your life that isn't going to help you to progress to that level, if there's someone holding you back, really getting in the way of how great you can be, you need to recognise that, and you need to start making changes for yourself.
But when we talk about levelling up, we're not talking about finances, as in that's not the straight and only thing we're talking about. We're talking about levelling up soul-wise, and doing all of that work. Get into a place where
you find peace. I think we're craving that. I think fulfilling your purpose is one aspect.
So when you talk about, who are you referring to? Who's supposed to level up? Just so we're clear.
Everyone.
Everyone around you.
If you get with somebody, as in you're looking to be in an intimate situation, or you're in a friendship with somebody, or even a family member, sometimes you can be in a toxic situation with a family member. They're consistently pulling, constantly taking. For them to level up, it would be leveling up to a position where it's a give and take bond.
And I
you give and like we both give and take.
For me,
we're there for each other, not I constantly vent, you constantly listen, and I never give anything back to that bond.
I think leveling up as well is a kind of being in a state where you're kind of unbothered by things that are constantly happening. Not unbothered, but you're at a level of peace where you can deal with the things that are necessary in your life and not having to be dealing with drama and things like that. And if you find yourself in that situation where you're always triggered, you're always giving your energy to other things, when you full and well know that that's not what your purpose is. Like, you need to just eradicate that type of energy from your life and level up. Level up to where you're supposed to be.
So level up could be leveling up in your peace, so you're less reactive. So if you're a peaceful person and you're with someone that's very reactive, then maybe the reactive person needs to, level up on a level of peace. Level could be anything in life. It could be the way that you push other people.
Kind of, even in the way we've been kind of moving in a not being negative, like kind of eradicating negativity as much as you can in this life, and working from a spirit of gratitude.
And we had to force each other to level up, to be less negative.
Yeah, and to spend less time in conversations with people who are negative, and that wanting that for yourself to level up to a point where you are positive about life, you're positive about the steps you're making. You need to have a look at your surroundings, you need to have a look at the people who you're in contact with on a daily and see if they're worth your time.
If the people you have around you do not want you to level up and they're happy for you to stay broken, they're happy for you to stay unhealed, they're happy for you to stay at a level where you're not at your fullest potential, they're not the people for you.
So you suggest you just let go of all of those people?
I mean, there's ways to do it. You're not just going to drop people off like straight away, but you do have to find ways to let them exit, or you exit. I think you have to.
I think the older you get, the deeper into self you get. You naturally become more introverted anyway.
Not everyone's on your journey.
Exactly. You can't take everybody with you. As much as you love certain people, the strongest point to get to spiritually is looking around at your loved ones and knowing you can't even carry some of them with you. And you have to get to that point. As much work as you've done with these people, not everybody you love will come with you.